Hi, I'm the Dissatisfied Gamer. I was requested to do a review on a game called Torchlight last night. Uh, it's very Diablo-like. It was supposedly made by the people who made Diablo 1 and 2. Though with the rumor floating around that Hellgate London was made by those same people, I didn't really expect much. Actually, it never occurred to me that it might actually be good. But it turns out I was wrong. It is fairly fun. I have enjoyed myself quite a bit. It's kind of cartoony compared to Diablo. It doesn't have the realism factor, uh, and that's not a bad thing really. Because if they would have went complete realism like Diablo, I would have called it a blatant rip-off of Diablo. But in a way, it's kind of implementing a lot of the things that Diablo 3 is going to implement. You know, like the weapons actually glowing and whatnot if they're magical. Excuse me. Um, but it's a fairly fun game anyway. I'd give it a 8.5 out of 10, I suppose. If you're looking for a game to fill in till 2010 when we get, or 2011 when we get Diablo 3, I'd recommend this one. You can find it on an ISO hunt by Skid Row. I think he's a pretty reliable torrenter. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. And then, since I don't want to do a 2-minute review, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Tom Clancy series. Well, let's start off with Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. They went for a first-person shooter in that game, and I think they failed pretty epically at it. It was a little too hard because it was a little too realistic. You didn't really have very good cover options because first-person shooters rarely give you the type of cover that a third person will. But then Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 came out, and I absolutely love this game. I own it to this day. I've played through it at least a dozen times. It's really fun if you're... I'd say it's at least a 9 out of 10. And then after that you have Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and Rainbow Six Vegas, which were both great games. They were first-person to third-person shooters. When you took cover, it would go into third-person, which was really awesome. I don't think I've ever played another first-person shooter like that, so that was pretty good and innovative of them. I do still own the second one. The first one I eventually let go because I never really played it after the second one came out. I'd say they're both 8.5 to 9 out of 10. What really gets me with them is the character customization. You can, put them in fully decked out armor and whatever. That's what I really like about that one, where you can have them in just his camouflage and that's it. It's pretty cool. And then you have Tom Clancy's End War, which is really good. It's an RTS, all voice controlled. You could do it by hitting buttons, and it's just not very fluid that way, so, I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. That one's probably a 9 out of 10 too, maybe even 9.5. I've played through it a couple times. I don't own it any longer because of rent issues. I had to sell a bunch of my games, but I am looking to buy it back eventually. And then you have Tom Clancy's Hawks, which is their flight simulator. It's really good, actually. That's probably the only flight simulator I've ever truly enjoyed playing. There have been others that I've, been like, oh, well, whatever, I'll pop it in for a little while and fly around, like Blazing Angels, which Blazing Angels gets like a 7.5 out of 10 for me, and Hawks gets a 9.5 out of 10, so you can see there's a pretty big difference there. Overall, it seems like the Tom Clancy games for a while there were like a dime a dozen. You had all kinds of Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon. But now it seems like they kind of slowed down, and they're coming out with better games at a more like at a steady rate instead of a bunch of really shitty games very quickly. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. Oh, someone had asked about the hardened copy of Modern Warfare 2, so that's why I decided to set it up this way, where you can see the night vision for the Prestige Edition. I don't know, just figured I'd satisfy his curiosity about it. You can also see Assassin's Creed 2 in the background there, and Call of Duty World at War. But yeah, well, until next time.